and be in this infrastructure, working in this team environment, I think is so important as we're looking for the development of talent in NA. So I'm curious to kind of track throughout the rest of the seasons how these players develop. But we're ready to hop into pick and bans for this game one. San Diego on the blue side with San Francisco on red.
And I believe San Francisco had side selection, so another red side when people are able to pick what side they are on. And it's because San Francisco were the higher seed coming in.
And so again, if you could just recap, is this because of the new Rift? Is this because of where champions are in the meta? What's the reason for this red side being higher priority right now?
I'm not completely sure. I assume it would have more to do with there's a lot of powerful things, so you want to grab two at once instead of just the first one.
So a meta read on champions?
And also having counterpick. I think red side has a lot of good things going for it right now. And kind of the structure of the map too, the entrance to the dragon. You have, I think, kind of more ways to really funnel in an appropriate way. And defending against it is a little bit better as opposed to just having to cover ramp too.
Yeah, and I think also the fact that we're in the new meta that you're not really sure what you're willing to throw that, the one first pick at, it's almost a little bit safer being on the red side, getting the counter pick, getting to kind of feel out the draft and how that does go. One thing I do want to point out, San Diego's FUT for free, the support, is a huge Xerath support player. I was expecting it to ban out. It is super strong in the meta, but it's already made its way through, so that really signals to me it's either been accounted for, like, okay, we know we got this guy's numbers, we understand how to play against it, or Francisco is just not really scared of it.
Or San Diego's not going to buy into that. The Nautilus was up on the table. We've seen this be high priority before, so it is locked in. Doesn't guarantee it's a support Nautilus, but we'll see if they do want to put it down in that lane. But this is what we're talking about outside selection. Now San Francisco gets to see the first card played and make a reactionary play. I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick up something like a jungler right now, maybe a strong laner. They go for the Heimerdinger. Interesting target priority.
Heimerdinger's just really popular now. Way popular than he's almost ever been.
Yeah, we did, however, in the BTN finals yesterday, get a little bit of a crash course on how to deal with the Heimerdinger. Not sure if San Diego's done that much homework, but we've seen things like the Misfortune and whatnot have really good matchups into it. But I think it's still a lot about really getting the advantage in the early levels. 1 to 3 is when you want to try to harass him, because once you get to 3, it is just Heimerdinger Kingdom down there.
Yeah, once you get all those abilities on the Heimerdinger, really hard to track all those turrets being placed and deal with the push on the wave. So I'm looking at that. How does San Diego try and absorb that push if possible? Do they want to go for an all-in kind of composition, or do they want to go for something that has wave clear itself? They grab that Rek'Sai, which signals to me a jungler that likes to gank early when the opportunity presents itself. And Heimerdinger's a fairly low mobility champion. That could be what they're looking for.
Yeah, and it's always kind of a good gank path for Rek'Sai onto things on red side. You can kind of come at them from over the wall, and I actually really prefer that for the bottom lane ganks. So Heimerdinger really has to watch out.
Can't be too far forward in that lane. But of course, a Lee Sin. So you have an aggressive jungler on your own. But there's the Ezreal locked in.
A little sad.
Yeah, this is a non-interactive lane, I would say.
But I was expecting this.
You were? Okay.
Yeah, because his name is E Forward, which is obviously an Inting Ezreal reference.
Hey, we could throw Lucian in there too. Okay, Zyrene.
Yeah, but that's not as common. People say like, oh, the Lucian dashes forward, but the Ezreal is like E forward.
That's an E forward?
That's an E forward.
All right. So not surprising us, but how do we feel about it into something like a Heimerdinger and Morgana bot lane? What do we expect to see down there?
Well, you're going to have to avoid the dark bindings and the grenades, but you're also going to have good poke to kill turrets from long range, and that's really what you want to make the Heimerdinger do, is spend a lot of mana on turrets early.
Yeah, and then from there, it is looking at the mid-game damage spikes, trying to hit the item as quickly as possible. I don't think this is going to be a bloody bottom lane. I know the kill numbers were pretty high up before. I'm expecting that to happen elsewhere on the Rift, though, especially with the Rek'Sai and the Lee Sin already.
Yeah, we're seeing both bot lane, or presumably both bot lanes, plus the junglers, but both these teams will have a counter pick or another against each other here. The final ban's coming through, all those solo laners. San Francisco taking away the Cassiopeia and the Garen, of all things. I know Garen has been sneaking up there in popularity just due to the tanky stats that he packs, but interesting to see that much focus from San Francisco. But no surprise that Mordekaiser in the Shen. Those are two classic solo Q bans for me also. I don't like those in my games.
Yeah, pretty well put. I guess San Diego maybe watched Pacific last game, because those were both problematic champions, although not ones that unfortunately won them the game. So trying to somewhat reduce the priority you have in the lane and then reducing the amount of pressure you're able to put out on the map, does somewhat signal to me that they are going to be trying to get some pretty fight-heavy solo lanes. Like, they're trying to take away the things that make it not just, like, a fair fight, I guess.
And Renekton is something that I presume would be top lane, but can go mid lane into the right matchup. So still they have some flexibility here. They get to see what San Diego locks in first.
Yeah, it has flexibility. Also, a lot of people haven't really picked it up or touched it since Spear of Shojin was removed from the game. So interested to see it. My question here, though, is like, people's tier lists will have things like Cassiopeia, Vladimir, and them. Ryze is actually really powerful, and I don't see him picked up yet, which is a bit of a head tilter for me.
All right, well, there's the Syndra locked in. The Ryze would be a lot of AP damage with that Ezreal, but I mean, you still have the Rek'Sai to round it out, so we'll see if San Diego wants to go for something like that. But Syndra, at least, is that tried and true classic AP mage in the mid lane. You know what you're going to get with this.
And once again, can pick up the Heimerdinger turrets and just chuck them. So it's good when he ulties, you can grab it, hold it for full duration, and then throw it away from the fight.
And that's a Trundle locked in. So I'm assuming the Trundle is going to be matched up against the Renekton. If I had to guess, I feel like you don't really want to put that into... Oh, unless it's a Trundle support? I'm trying to think. What are the options?
Could be.
What could this be?
I mean, I was a big supporter of Trundle support back in the day. Into a Heimerdinger Morg doesn't really seem... Yeah.
You're calling
that
it's a top lane. It's a top lane.
I'm not sure if it's a fantastic matchup, mostly because when you're on the Trundle, you want to get into long duration trades versus tanks, especially post 6. Renekton, you have a lot more control in the early game. It will definitely scale decently. Like, Trundle will have split push priority into later stages, but that is a huge burden of execution now on the San Francisco top lane.
I think I figured out their strategy here. The name was Your Mom LOLOL, and now playing a real troll in the game. I think he's just going all in.
Are you going to try to say like, oh, Trundle's their mother or something?
No, I think just trying to absorb that troll persona.
Okay.
But let's talk about who we feel is going to take this one. I mean, I'm not sold on the Trundle. I'm not going to lie. I don't think that San Fran is going to take that one, so I'm giving it to San Diego just based on that alone. I feel like...
San Diego are the ones who have the...
San Francisco, correct, with the Renekton.
Okay.
So San Francisco.
Okay.
My prediction. It says San Diego. That's fine. That's fine. You know what? Yeah, I'll go San Diego. Well, we'll see. What are you feeling? What are you feeling, Larry?
I'm feeling like San Francisco because
okay.
San Francisco, they won previously. They didn't have the full roster. They have it now, and I like their composition a lot. It's going to be hard to deal with, getting onto the Heimerdinger, and when you do, you have to deal with Black Shield. You have to deal with Galio coming in, and there's going to be a Lee Sin trying to kick you back. So I think the Heimerdinger will be able to hold up.
Yeah, I think we have to go with that one as well, the San Francisco, as opposed to Steve's San Diego choice that is very clearly documented at the bottom of your screen. I think the Heimerdinger Morgana lane is a pretty good answer. I don't think there's going to be anything happening there. An advantage for them. And then the Trundle's a big old question mark for me.
Does this count towards my 100%
Definitely
correct prediction when you disagree? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I can keep that trend
only
going.
Only if they win.
Only if they win. Absolutely. I like that answer. But we're all ready to hop into this game 1 of our second semifinals match. San Francisco versus San Diego, brought to you by Grubhub.
And let's check all of the rune choices very quickly.
Double Comet on the bot side here for San Francisco. I don't often see Morganas take that Comet. Usually I see Area as a more popular choice.
Yeah, Area's pretty popular. I think the other one in competitive play is the...
Guardian.
Yeah, exactly. Guardian, you just want to be able to have the extra defenses. Morgana's not really there for her damage or poke. You're there to keep things safe, and then you get more shields, equals things are even safer. I guess the idea is that Heimerdinger, Morg is already a lane that's pretty defensive, so you can just lob a few Comets over.
And you're against a melee support Nautilus who presumably will walk up, try and hit a minion. Maybe you have an opportunity to hit a grenade and then follow up with a binding, try and lock him down. And this does just pack more of a punch. So if that is the strategy, they gotta look to be aggressive against this melee Nautilus. The Trundle, I'm still scratching my head about. I like to see this into compositions that have a dedicated tank, somebody you can steal those stats from, and I'm just not seeing that on San Francisco's composition.
Well, one thing to always keep in mind when you're, playing against, or when you're playing against the Trundle is, Trundle does a few things with his ultimate. I know it's easy to kind of like tunnel in on the fact that it's going to be taking people's resistances, but it also takes HP. His Q takes AD, so he'll take some of the AD from the Renekton. He'll also take HP from him, and when he's on his W, he heals for more, and he'll have Conqueror, which will then heal more from his W as well. So this is aimed at mostly being a kind of buff and debuff thing, where he's trying to debuff the enemy in pretty much all statistics and buff himself simultaneously. And the Conqueror on top of that, I think, is just going to do wonders.
Right, and then that really is looking to be that scaling, pushing threat. But what I am really interested for San Francisco is actually the mid lane. Flow, I think, is the one that's going to have to take winning lanes and make them smashing lanes. Like, it's going to be on Lee Sin Renekton to find an advantage there. But once that's running, if you have the Galio roam, then you can find those dives, find those 2v1s, and just push Renekton so far over the edge that there's nothing left to do to defend against it. Because in an even-ish matchup, if this game goes pretty solid throughout, I do have a fear that San Francisco does fall off, especially in the damage and teamfight profile.
So they're going to have to look to be proactive here, playing around this early game Renekton, and like you said, Return, looking for those roams with Flow. So I want to be paying attention to that throughout the game. How often can you actually get the push as Galio into the Syndra and make use of that ultimate to get elsewhere around the map? Still going to take a little bit of time before we're at that point, but we also see significant teleport advantages on the side of San Francisco. They got 3 to San Diego's 1.
And it's funny because there's a cleanse for the Ezreal. It means that heal was taken by Fa for free. And then Jabbers has Barrier, which is a really interesting choice for something like a Syndra in a matchup versus a Galio, because you shouldn't be taking too much damage, but I think he's really worried about a combination of a kickback or the Lee Sin getting a kill.
Yeah, this to me really screams that this is learned behavior. This is Jabber Days being like, okay, I've literally been in the last 3 games I played against him, been ganked like 25 times. Might as well have an extra health bar just in the back pocket. But you're right, it is very defensively minded from San Diego. Definitely mid lane. You could look for something more aggressive. You could look for a teleport if you're just worried more about the wave control or even rotations, considering you're up against the Galio. We'll have to see whether or not their lack of offensive summoners does actually hurt them though.
And to me, it says that Jabber Jays will have that much harder time getting a 1v1 against Flow, so it will be about team fighting, about playing around Awkward Avocado more often than looking for that outplay here. But talking about the junglers, we saw up there on the top side, Awkward Avocado was pushed away from his Gromp by Mahiro, who's feeling very confident in the 1v1 jungle play right now. Actually catches that. Awkward Avocado is a level up, but needs to be careful because he's getting collapsed on by mid lane and by bot lane, but Mahiro is able to get out.
And just back up and go back to his jungle and farm a few more camps. He did get both scuttles, which I think is a big win for the Lee Sin.
And also good chunk from Spirit Tracks onto E forward right there. It means that the Ezreal got to be careful of a potential combo from the Morgana and the Heimerdinger.
Speaking of being careful right here, that Trundle is almost in combo range where you would be able to flash auto W and then Q with double empowered.
Yeah, and on top of that, Awkward Avocado just showed on the bottom side, potentially a little bit too late as the back's very bit channeled, but like when you have a jungler that just shows on the bottom side, all of a sudden like you're in heaven as a top laner. You're like, all right, good. This is now my kingdom, and I don't have to worry about sharing it with anybody, but
he is going to teleport back to the top side, is slightly behind CS, and your mom actually gets a bag, can probably teleport back up there and catch the wave. So I think this is fine for San Diego.
This is a move from San Francisco that says, okay, we want to prioritize keeping this top lane isolated. We don't want to have to worry about teleporting to the Dragon, and with the TP out of Renekton first, it forces the TP, and that means that Dragon is going to be isolated away from the Trundle roam, and actually following Awkward Avocado was just seeing clearing bottom side jungle. That gives a perfect window for the Dragon.
Exactly. I like that from Mahiro, realizing, okay, the Renekton was bot side. We just teleported top. Awkward Avocado, that's like blinking lights saying, hey, come top, gank K-Pulsar, but it means a free Dragon over the side of San Francisco.
We have to watch if the Renekton actually responds to the Rec side being on the top side, if they know that.
They got to be assuming it at this point in time. I think Mahiro was spotted out on that ward as well. So, I mean, plus he also just took the Dragon.
There's another teleport. There's the Heimerdinger going to the bottom side of the map.
Your mom, LOL, in a 1v1 against K-Pulsar. Actually throws down the pillar, getting the best of K-Pulsar. The Renekton just cannot deal with this damage of the Trundle.
You just see how much he heals. He just lowers your damage, increases his own, heals, steals your resistances. Like, Trundle is still an amazing 1v1 champion, despite not going against a tank. And
it's a little bit shocking based on that fact that Lee Sin hasn't quite found his way up here yet. When you have a laner that has such a consistent lockdown like the Empowered W from Renekton, you're expecting to get those quick 1-2 ganks off, but it's almost like they've sacrificed that top lane pressure to grab objectives elsewhere. But how much are they really going to have to sacrifice here?
Flash available for K-Pulser.
Is there an E?
Oh, there, flash forward by Awkward Avocado. They're trying to take him down, but he just slices and dices his to safety.
Yeah.
Doesn't even burn that summoner spell.
Yep, and he gets the summoner spell in return. He will have to back, though, and he'll be down in CS. But this gives Mahiro more CS on the bottom side and allows him to kind of control this jungle. I think he might get Raptors as well.
It's just coming up shortly here. He could look for it for sure. But for free, also alone under this turret, trying to catch whatever he can. But this is top and bottom lane with constant pressure in favor of San Francisco for pretty much the whole early game.
Mahiro's a good player. He actually looked at the minion wave and wanted to go towards the Raptors and waited for the minion wave to pass and looked at his own to see where it was relative to, where it would be on the other side of the map.
The wave control, beautiful from San Francisco so far.
Yeah, definitely. You can tell this is a team that thinks about the game. It's a really big difference between a lot of collegiate teams I find. Those that are really good at the game and those who are really good at thinking about the game. This is definitely that latter category, and that is where you get some dangerous CLO contenders. And definitely interesting, given that the Western region is getting a little bit of a shakeup, whether Mahiro is able to lead that team onward, though. I am interested in how they start playing that map. A lot of vision created and put down. Now I got to see, like we were saying before, flow. Got to show me something here, and might be showing me a top lane flanker, top lane gankaroo with the ultimate. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that might have been more of a reactionary play right there. We just saw Mahiro go and take the entire bot jungle away from Awkward Avocado. So to San Francisco, that signals, all right, Awkward Avocado is going to be going towards the top side. That's where the camps are up right now. So I like that from Flo being there just in case the jungler does show up.
Yeah, I think a funny thing here is there's so much of the jungle up for Mahiro right now. He has 5 out of his 6 camps available, but they just have so much vision.
Oh, and he could look for Jabberjays right now. Oh, spotted out on that ward. Thought he might drop a ward over the wall and look for something crazy, but
there's so many control wards on the side of San Francisco that have been placed down. You can see it actually just lines the entire river from top to bottom, and they have really good control. So they'd be able to spot out the Rek'Sai in almost any entrance to their jungle, knowing that Mahiro's camps are safe is a big part of why he's spending so much time here, because he knows the Rek'Sai has almost nothing to do except wait for some camps.
It hasn't gotten any advantage yet to San Francisco, though. They're still losing this 1v1 to the top lane, but yeah, your mom's got to be careful. They know Galio's not mid anymore. That's not going to sound any better going forward, but here's the Galio ult coming through, and that's exactly what we were talking about. Flo is able to get to that top lane so quick.
And that's perfectly timed as well, just in the grand scheme of things, because not only now there's no dragon to contend with down the Mahiro's on top side, and Herald is up and available, and the mid laner's already gone. It is actually now Christmas, as San Francisco just gets gifted everything here on the map. And this is great Cerebral League of Legends, and now this is going to lead to another door opening as you're able to get that Herald and able to look for that next big play.
And heartbreaking for San Diego. This Trundle was winning the 1v1 against the Renekton, but went a little over-eager, little too far forward, and gets punished for it. At this point, the Renekton was the one that got the kill, but with the gold going elsewhere on the map, this opens up more plays for San Francisco to make.
Yeah, more plays for them to make, and also the Dragon coming up soon. The Galio, I don't think he'll have ultimate for it, but they will have teleports up on the side of the top laners.
And no teleports for Flow or Spirit Track, so a little bit more time before San Francisco can make a similar play. There are windows where San Diego can play around the mobility of this Galio, but I don't know if they're in a position right now.
Yeah, now it's time for reset. Get your items. Spend all of that gold that you have. You see both Mahiro and Fio are doing that. So they're going to go to the bottom side of the map, and they already have all this control with wards and clearing this vision out. So this is the right thing from San Francisco. This is the right time to do it, and they're going to start heading that way.
Perfect time, because we see eFord and for free both chunked out. eFord very low on mana as well. This is opportune Dragon taking time. As soon as Flo can get to that mid lane and push out that wave, they can actually look to take this objective. But here we're seeing San Diego get a little eager on that Dragon, but maybe they can make a play. There's a roam down by Jabberjays. This is that window with no Galio ultimate or TP. Can they take down Spear Trax? The teleport coming in from K-Pulser, but Spear Trax is already down. eFord is able to get back under his turret. Can K-Pulser do anything? Mahiro takes down the Ezreal. K-Pulser might fall to the turret. He doesn't, but the jungler does. Awkward Avocado gives his life to buy time for the team. Teleport from your mom as well, but San Diego just can't defend well enough.
No, and this is where you see really the fruits of the labors of University of San Francisco that have been built up over the last few minutes. The Herald, of course, being great, the gravy on top as it may be, but it was a great initial move from San Diego, moving down to the bottom side, knowing they get that kill first, but it's been the setup, the advantages that they've been building elsewhere on the map that lets them win that fight, lets them grab now the second Drake of the game. Infernal Blazes is going to be the Rift. And now you're almost wondering, when's the knockout punch coming?
Maybe right here. They're trying to make the play again onto your mom. LOL under turret, and they pull it off.
Mahiro, actually a smooth Lee Sin player.
Here's the beginning of that play before. It seemed good for San Diego because they got the roam first on their mid laner, but they just couldn't clean up fast enough.
Yeah, E forward misses the ultimate, so has to commit a little bit more to actually get that kill, and then Mihiro's able to get him. We see the turret not kill the Renekton, and then your mom teleports a little late.
Not able to clean up the fight for his team. Turret gets chunked by the Rift Herald. The Dragon falls, but at the end of the day, it's only a 1,000 gold lead for San Francisco, so nothing insurmountable for San Diego to deal with right now. It's just decision-making that I'm mostly looking at. San Diego doesn't seem to really have a steering wheel in this game to determine where to go.
Exactly. I mean, right now, if you're San Diego, your way back into this game is picks. It is the man in the mid lane. It is Jabberjays on the Syndra. But the problem is, in order to get picks, you need to get vision. In order to get vision, you need to have pressure, and that's where all these early plays from San Francisco have really set them up for success. They've done their due diligence, and they have control of where things go on, and with no control, San Diego are waiting almost for a gift from San Francisco to find their way back into the game.
It's also hard to make picks when there's a Galio on the enemy team, when there's 3 teleports to only 1 on your team. So San Francisco just have more options to play on the map, not just because of their composition, but I'm happy you highlighted that return. The vision controls, Irene mentioned it earlier, the control wards everywhere. So they can always spot where Awkward Avocado is looking for a play, be it topside.
Well, we're about to have a play here that is 2-on-2 because Mahiro is actually right up above.
Make it 2-on-3, actually. Here's
Walking out there, Jabberjays roaming as well. So a 3v3 in the works, but right now the 2v2, can they take down K-Pulsar in time? The Renekton flashes away, still goes down. It's a trade jungler for top lane. Even the teleport from Spirit Tracks just to try and get back in this fight. The stun lands. Can they follow up with the damage? The prediction cute from Mahiro, but it's not enough. Jabberjays gets out.
That was sick. That was awesome. He throws it pretty much knowing that he's got a flash to the side. That was cool.
Mahiro is a smooth operator for sure. You have to take this Lee Sin away from him because he is just being too efficient, not only in the mechanical plays, but in the macro plays as well. When you give this man comfort, he will take the entire Rift for himself, and you're seeing a display of exactly how you do that right here.
Up in CS, or jungle clear rather, up in kills. The only member with a gold bounty right now, Mahiro, putting on a clinic against San Diego. What more can they get? They actually go for a lane swap here. I like this. You already teleported the Heimerdinger up top. Might as well just have Morgana back and join in on the fun.
Well, they also took the bottom turret, so there's nothing for him to really gain on that side. And also, no dragon right now either. So I expect them to push for this top side, maybe even throw a gank there, maybe not. But Mahiro might get second Rift Herald off of that and then rotate to the bottom side and then get the next dragon there.
Ooh, or Mahiro can just look to take down E forward. Oh, tries to predict by jumping over the wall, but actually shut down. It looks flashy when it works. It looks silly when it doesn't, but Mahiro, regardless, it gives over that bounce.
It's like the Indiana Jones scene, the one guy with a sword just doing all the cool flips and then Indiana Jones just with the revolver. Sometimes you overcomplicate the plays a bit too much and then it falls flat. And
so who had the revolver? Was it Jabberjays or E forward? I
think Jabberjays is the one that just pulls out a revolver and is like, get out of here.
You know that scene was improv?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, because apparently there was a whole bunch of fight choreography, and he just got tired of doing it over and over again and just pulled out the gun and just...
I like that. That makes the story. I can totally imagine Harrison Ford just like, I don't want to be physically active.
Yeah, it's like a joke where you're just like, we've done this scene so many times. You know what?
Like, this makes more sense.
It's like, I have a gun on me.
Well, we'll see if Jabberjays is feeling, more active after that one.
It was Jabberjays who picked up
It's
the
a
kill, right?
Yep, 2-0.
So
Now-
Jabberjays actually is the recipient of the bounty. 2 kills, has a bounty of himself, and is now about 40 CS up. Almost at 50, but there's a 9 there. Got to carry the numbers, kids. But now you're going to be able to have a little bit more power in that pick machine. And realistically, if you get like 1 or 2 more kills, possibly finish that second item there, Jabberjay should just be able to absolutely obliterate anyone who wants to, especially Miro, who hasn't really picked up any defensive items outside of the boots.
And it's a fairly squishy comp, again, to highlight. There's no dedicated tank on San Francisco, but they do have stopwatches. Kaga, Spirit Tracks, and Flow. Kaga's already used theirs, but you got to imagine all 3 might build into that Zonia, so a good anti-Syndra item, but it can take some time that they don't have right now, despite the gold disadvantage. San Diego actually have first access to this dragon.
Yeah, but they got to be careful, because it's nice that the Dragon Pit actually is opened up with the Dragon Radar, because if it was the Mountain Rift, it'd be so easy for Galio to find that ultimate in, but...
Okay, that's that pick you're talking about, Return. All it took was 1 Scatter the Wake from Jabberjays, and they take out Spirit Tracks. They get this dragon.
All right, so this is actually like million IQ play from San Diego. There's a strat that I've been talking about with multiple people. You give away the first 2 dragons, especially if it's like a Mountain Rift or something. Infernal Rift's a little bit less so, but you give away the first 2 dragons, so you get to 4 stack the 3rd dragon, and then you take the soul as well. It's the Uber Dragon strat. It's also what I call the 2 dragon curse. You take the first 2 drags, you're done. But
so you're saying San Francisco planned that all along? They were like, just give Spirit
San
Tracks
Diego
a play.
planned it all wrong. I'm saying your prediction's correct.
Okay, good. Yeah, as long as that is known. But here's that second Rift Herald being started up by San Diego. They go right from objective to objective. They are able to secure it. No steal coming through from San Francisco. So this feels good for San Diego. They're still behind in gold, but they got some tempo.
And this is where I was about to be a bit concerned from San Diego that...
Oh, another Scatter of the Week. More damage on the Cape Pulsar.
Okay. So this is where I was about to be really concerned for San Diego. Like, they've been pretty much being massively outplayed for the first majority of the game, that they may be too afraid, and actually what you said before about the jungler mentality, they may have been too afraid to make those sorts of plays, but the confidence now is back, and potentially, as much as we were memeing it, it may have all originated from Miro just jumping too far forward and giving away the kill for what seemed like nothing.
I actually was going to say exactly that, because I think they were outplaying, and San Diego weren't really able to keep up, and then San Francisco kind of outplayed themselves. And I think Mahiro alluded to it a little bit, where he was talking about the time they had played Pepperdine and in scrims, and he was like, oh yeah, we beat them, but we did lose them too, but it was us throwing. And so this team has a tendency to have some throw moments, especially with these players who seem like they want to outplay.
But they still have opportunities to bring it back. It is not lost by any means for San Francisco. They still have this gold lead right now, and they still have Mahiro on this Lee Sin, who's looking very strong. That Black Cleaver close to completion, and once that comes through, that's a big power spike for the Lee Sin. You get your jungle item, you get your Black Cleaver, pretty much the strongest you'll be in comparison to other champs at that stage in the game.
Right, and this is where San Francisco really have to choose what their identity is going to be. Flash away from Spirit just to keep him alive, but do you look for the team fights with the giant wombo combination that you have, or do you try to push things out to the side lane again? It's going to be a little bit rough with Renekton, but hopefully using the Galio, you could win the side lane fight with some good rotations. But if you're going to go for team fights, you need to do some due diligence. You need to burn these flashes away, set yourself up for the Galio ultimate coming in, and then make that play. If you rush a Galio ultimate and 3 members flash away, congratulations, you played yourself, and you give away so much more in the process, but...
Yeah. Harder to make those plays when the enemy team is grouped as 5, but you're fine with this. They're even getting on to fall for free. Mahiro just solos out the Nautilus. And my point was going to be top and bottom were both pushing an advantage for San Francisco, so they're fine with these with what San Diego's doing right now, which is grouping up in mid. But they even get a kill for it. They might take this turret. The wave clear's too strong.
Yeah, they're grouping and kind of losing CS on the sides. You can see Renekton immediately walks through the jungle. They have all these wards there. It's a very easy jungle to traverse because it's the Infernal one.
Even has the Demolish, but sees that Trundle's coming by. Your mom can still do some damage to this Renekton in a straight 1v1, and you never know if Awkward Avocado is going to be right behind him.
He saw your mom's coming by.
He saw, you got afraid, when it's your friend's mom, it's sometimes like even more scary than your mom. It's you know an interesting relationship. There.
It's the exact opposite of the meme. It's like, hey, come over to top lane. Mom's not home. It's like, hey, mom's home. Leave top lane.
Oh yeah, man.
You never know what your friend's mom's
Capri
do.
Suns, bro. Woo, Sunny D.
Well, yeah, it could be the Capri Suns, or it could be the no video games,
Oh.
you're playing board games while you're over, something like that. You know, you never know what you're gonna get there.
No, I wouldn't go over to that mom's house.
Right? I thought it was. I was gonna say we've all had that friend, but I guess that was just me.
Nope,
my mom.
no Stacy's.
That wasn't exactly what I was implying, but I get your point. But back to the game at hand here. San Francisco have yet to give up this gold lead. They're still 2K ahead. They have 2 turrets to 0. So there was a moment there where San Diego were coming back. They were getting play after play. They got that Dragon and the Herald, but has it stalled out now? I haven't seen much more proactivity coming from them.
Yeah, it has somewhat pumped the brakes, and in fact, this usage of the Heralds kind of alludes to that. You'd really like to find a place to actually grab something with this Rift Herald, but I don't think, thankfully, does stop on the on the mini turrets. But yeah, it's really not going to be the full usage you'd like to see. I believe this is Kelly this time.
Yes.
So yeah, Callie goes down
Callie.
without really grabbing. No, the first one is Shelly,
Okay.
and then her older sister Kelly comes by later.
Oh, Shelly and Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
What about Harold or Harry? Like the older brother.
I guess we.
That's Baron, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, sure.
So that's Bob.
That's Bob.
Oh.
Hey, we look at it, but there's the Dragon Steel coming from the hero, plus a wombo combo of the Galio for Manton. Can they clean up the fight?
They don't have the
Naga
damage.
goes down, but the damage is gone. Caples are doing what he can, but now stuck between 5 members of San Diego, and San Diego clean house. They lose the Dragon, but they win the fight.
And like we had mentioned before, there's just not enough damage to follow through. And the flashes are still up, so when Galio goes in, everyone takes a step back and then just rains death in on the remaining members. It looks like Renekton was almost about to find like that massive Q to finally chunk everyone, but it just never came through, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Great steal from Miro,
Well,
but everything after didn't really go to plan.
He doesn't really have, like, Galio doesn't have any of that, like, damage reduction anymore, so he can't save Mihiro. He doesn't get a full duration taunt. It's just a quick snap one, so people aren't CC'd in place for long enough to really get much. Syndra pops the barrier, and the Renekton, this is not a Spear of Shojin. It doesn't exist anymore, so he's not able to actually rotate through his cooldowns multiple times.
But what I don't like from San Diego is what happened after that fight. They don't push the mid turret and get that. They went for the Baron and got pushed off from San Francisco. So this means it's actually a positive map play from San Francisco who get that mid turret in response. So San Diego not really capitalizing on that win.
Well, they also got a Dragon. I think it's their 3rd one.
Yep, that's going to be 3 dragons now. The Ocean, the Windrake, and now the Fire Dragon all in the pockets for San Francisco. Means one more. They not only get the Fire Soul, but we will now be moving on to Elder Dragons, whereas only 1 is in the pockets for San Diego. Though I do still want to point out, despite the losing of some map priority, there's a lot of gold that was just picked up, especially, like we mentioned, on the Jabberjays, 4-0-2, 9.3 to 7.2, 2K lead in the lane, despite having the team with a gold disadvantage. Tells you a few things about the matchup, but flip back over to the items. That is now a death cap as well completed onto Syndra. The picks just became pickier.
And the gold is within 1,000 now, so it's coming back
Right.
to San Diego's favor. They do have the opportunity to just go for a team fight and stat check their opponents with the gold. And we even mentioned this before, San Francisco, you know, what do they really do in a team fight? We saw what happened around that Dragon Pit. Zyrene, they didn't have enough damage to actually kill anybody from San Diego's side.
Yeah, they have to have the cooldowns for the Heimerdinger, and he has to be very accurate with his abilities. And then the Renekton and the Lee Sin are really the physical damage that will come through. Renekton kind of bursty now, no longer that amazing sustained damage. He does have Conqueror, that doesn't even have press the attack, so doesn't have that amazing burst that you would normally have with the W combo. And the Lee Sin pretty much got dropped at the start, so they didn't have much follow-up. I don't think Galio really does that much damage anymore. And Aftershock nerfs did affect his ability to smash people with the passive, which does more damage based on how much MR you have. And you used to be able to kind of like dip into an Aftershock for that.
Yeah, and if you're looking at these fights, you now basically need to wring out every ounce of damage that you do have at your disposal for San Francisco to win a fight. And one positive thing that they do have going for them is the flash cooldown. So now, with that last fight, you blew it from Awkward Avocado, you blew it from Jabberjays, you blew it from E forward, despite him having, you know, an E. given the name, but you now do have the ability to go in and find one of those fights onto some immobile carries. But if this game goes a little bit longer, if San Francisco doesn't really capitalize on these small windows, they're going to come right back up. And now, if you want to find that fight, the barrier to entry is even higher.
San Diego, how well have they been tracking those cooldowns? Usually it falls on something like the support to really let the team know, okay, they're coming up at this time, they're coming up at that time, but difficult thing to do, especially at the collegiate level to,
Yeah, I think that
pay attention to all of it.
Renekton might know, because I feel like he was the one who had the frustration of, oh, guys, I'm going to go in with this empowered Q, I'm going to wreck everyone. Where'd everyone go? Oh, they're all over there now.
Ooh.
So he might have an inkling that some flashes might be down, but definitely to your point of if they know exactly when, because those are still, there's a little bit of time left on them. So, like, it's that last drop of the lemonade.
The thing that is really interesting right now is, yeah, the flashes and the TPs, but the Dragon is about to come up. The Baron is being de-warded, but there's nothing on the Dragon side. I'm sitting there going, like, this is like naked vision. Like, nobody's got anything there.
Completely dark for both sides at this point in time. So who's going to go face check it first? We see Kaga and
Well, whoever face checks it first is actually the safer one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So.
they're able to get that vision down immediately. And again, we have this interesting spectator effect going on there.
I've noticed a few fun features, as I'm going to call them.
Fun
There was
features.
I noticed with the
Bonus
Sivir game before, with the Pizza Skin Sivir, her Qs were invisible. I think we've had some
Oh.
invisible Qs on Ezreal, so it's really just keeping the game fresh.
Okay, yeah.
As it may be.
I mean, if you know what's going to happen, it loses the little like surprise factor.
Yeah, it's like the ideology behind Earth. It was like, you know what people hate? Cooldowns. It's like, you know what people hate in solo queue? Not having having vision of things. So we're just going to take away any ability to see things, and that's how we fix
Trundle
it.
Pillar disappears, Nautilus ult disappears.
I take it as like, you don't need to see this ability anyway. You ain't going to dodge this.
Oh,
You ain't good enough.
That's that confidence right there. But we do see both teams posturing around this Dragon now. The vision was around the Baron, but now the teams have moved to this half of the map. Flo and Mahiro on that ward right now. E-Forward, living up to the name, does use the cleanse, but there's not a lot of follow-up.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the team? What's Renekton doing? Renekton is like, being a sneaky lizard? I don't know.
It's a crocodile in his natural habitat in the river bush now.
He's warm. He's warm blooded. He's got to stay away from the fire dragon.
Exactly.
He's in the lake trying to cool down.
Something like that, sure. But it's his reptilian brother.
Actually, I think they're cold-blooded, so
They
I have
are.
no idea what
Yeah, I was going to say.
So he should be closer to the fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wants to get nice up and cozy in there. Oh, that was a good chunk coming in from the True Shot Barrage, but a redemption to keep everyone safe, everyone healed up. I don't know what San Diego's plan is here. They're just dancing around this objective right now.
They don't want to risk the steal.
Down.
Oh,
Look at that
big
poke
hero.
onto the back end. Black Shield keeps Spear Tracks alive. Plus
Hero
the
should win this
stopwatch.
fight.
I feel like this Dragon is going over to San Francisco, but San Diego...
Here comes Rek'Sai.
Don't know what they want to do
Uh-oh.
into the pit, and they take the Dragon. They even get Mahiro down as well. K-Pulsar, Renekton, trying to get the damage in, but Slices and Dices away, trying to get back to safety. 2 members have fallen for San Francisco. Can San Diego get more? They're trying to lock them down, running forward, and a double to your mom.
That's a mega throw from San Francisco.
I'm happy that I got to yell that out in such dramatic fashion, but look at that play from San Diego. They get in there and they just mess this Dragon up.
I believe it was actually Jabberjays who's able to put down the damage to kill Mahiro. So this is San Francisco not knowing whether they want to fight or whether they want to stay on the Dragon. And given that they have the Galley engage, if they want to fight, they need to be the one to do it. But Awkward Avocado catches them off guard by coming in so early. And yeah, it's just Mahiro mispositioning on the top side of that pit, getting absolutely chunked out by the Syndra. And then once Miro's gone, y'all already know that there's absolutely no damage left on the team comp. And just a clean wipe through as San Diego start to recover the Dragon game, but definitely are recovering the fight game.
Yeah, I think he wanted to just buffer a kick on the Rek'Sai. One of the things, though, is a lot of people don't know this, but there's a quarter-second root on Lee Sin kick. That's why as soon as he starts kicking, you can't flash. That's why you want to get out of your animation as fast as possible and do kick flash, because they can't flash as soon as you connect your kick. So Rek'Sai actually, when you burrow and you are using your E, even if you get rooted, you will continue moving. So if I'm hit E and I get hit by a Dark Binding right then, I will actually move with Dark Binding on me. So he actually continued to move while quarter second rooted, and that's why he ended up on the other side of the Lee Sin.
So Lee Sin kicked him further into the pit.
He input the command when the Rek'Sai was on the left side of him, going underneath him, and so it would normally stop somebody from moving, and it doesn't stop Rek'Sai from moving, so it kicks him the other way.
Interesting to note that little interaction right there. Definitely worked out in the favor of San Diego. And good positioning by Jabberjays. Understanding I got to get as close to this pit as possible to help take down that jungler. As soon as my hero is too far forward, that was all that AP. I mean, we've been dragging the items here. Now Leandri's completed on this Syndra as well. Does a lot of damage to that Lee Sin.
And if you want to start talking about items, you have to look down at the bottom side as well as E forward. Completed the Triforce, Muramana all the way upgraded into the Manamune, and now is also working on the Blade of the Ruined King. I know that I'm actually a little bit, I'm not actually sure whether you go for, I know the AP used to be the thing when Klepto is gone. Then you have just magic damage with like, just splash, whatever you can get for splash, and Loon's Echo probably being the main one. But now with Conqueror, perhaps it's back to the attack speed with Bork? Okay, yes. I'm getting a nod. That does look about right.
Yeah.
But I was like, there's not really a tank, but attack speed Conqueror, yeah, that checks out.
Because it's harder to stack it.
Right.
And you just, you want to, you have to like poke people 5 times, I think, to actually get it completely stacked. So it's a little difficult. So you want to at least weave in autos and use your passive on top of that too. So it ends up being a lot of extra healing from the Blade of the Ruined King as well as the Conqueror.
Right. Lesson aside, though, it's still the main point. If Ezreal is starting to get built, he has the damage that he needs to start carrying these team fights. It's no longer just on the back of Jabberjays. And with your Mount Lowell able to steal away some big defensive stats, especially from the likes of Flo and whatnot, who does have a consistent, pretty decent amount of resistance already, he's not going to die. All of a sudden, your pick composition can actually turn into a front-to-back team fight, and that's exactly what San Diego is really relying on right now.
And it feels really rough for San Francisco at this point in time. We mentioned this earlier on in the game. They want to be in the lead from the get-go. They had that early advantage, but they've let it slip, and I don't know if their team composition is going to do much. They do a lot of damage to Awkward Avocado and some chunk to E forward.
Well, Heimerdinger just used his ultimate. Spirit Tracks just threw out the RW. I don't know the cooldown on his ultimate right now, but Dragon's coming up in less than a minute. I think
it's already almost got a halfway back.
Yeah, it might be up pretty quickly.
Okay. I think he has, let's see, I think that's about 30% CDR on the build. He's got Windrakes, that's another 10%. So the answer is not very long, I guess. But certainly, I feel like the Heimerdinger needs to be a bigger factor than it has been so far. Miro's been super inconsistent with being able to stay in fights. Pulsar is renekted and not able to get into them half the time.
So this is the seventh dragon. I think they both have 3.
No, actually, San Diego has 2 dragons. San Francisco has 3. So if San Diego get this, we're 3-3.
How many 7 is the limit?
Because once somebody gets 4, that's when it ends, and it goes straight to Elder. So just the TLDR, if San Francisco gets this dragon, they get Infernal buff, they get the Infernal Soul, and we go to Elder Dragons. If San Diego gets it, they have 3 Infernal Dragons, and we go to 1 more.
So
then we go to Uber Dragon.
They're perfecting the strat of give early Drakes and then take all of them.
Precisely.
You know what? The more you say it, the more I'm sold.
I just realized, too, that this is a Syndra that could potentially be looking at the 3rd Infernal Drag of the game for her.
Yeah.
She's already scary.
And she's got Death Cap.
Yeah. Imagine she gets 4 plus the soul.
I'm curious how much AP she has right now in the game as well. Okay. But the dragon is up. Both teams, again, posturing around it. But this time, San Francisco, they have the push mid.
Right. Flo's going to try to scare the likes of San Francisco out here. This is technically a dragon that San Francisco can give and not risk the buff. It's not one you want to give. In fact, I actually almost want to see them leveraging some sort of Baron pressure, but no, they're going to go straight on into this.
Renekton's going to walk around and see if he can go for a flank.
He's going to have to slice and dice over the wall, maybe look to flash it. There's a ward there that would spot him out. What does San Francisco want to do? I don't think
the poke.
Give it for free.
The poke.
Poke from the Ezreal. The Syndra always having that option.
He's got to get in there. He's got to get in there.
There's an Lee Sin trying to get in. Doesn't take down the dragon. Gives up his life, but who's going to take the team fight afterward? Buffer free, trying to disengage on the bottom side. K-Pulsar, they just can't take down this Trundle. Look at your mom. So tanky, so beefy on this front line. just running down San Francisco, and it feels like this game is all San Diego.
Yeah, and from the first throw that happened, San Diego has just had a great stranglehold on this game. I think a lot of that is your mom's gotten really tanky. Jabberjays is doing a really good job of bringing the damage, and I feel like the damage is lacking on the side of San Francisco. Go ahead.
100%, and even when you're looking at the flank like this, it takes so long for San Francisco. Also, a really smart play. Jabberjays actually took out the blast cone that would have given K-Pulsar a freeway into the backline. But the fact, once again, there is no setup for these fights. Flashes are all still available, so the second that the potential backline dive shows up, it's everyone out of there. And
it was so close.
Yeah.
And then right here, the fact that they're lacking damage, they don't have the Renekton in there. They don't really have that much damage. You can see everybody's on your mom, and she's not going down at all. It's just, he's just staying there the entire time. Right. He's barely taking any damage, and he just marches straight through. Nobody can deal with your mom right now.
It's like when your mom's on the phone and you're tapping on her shoulder like, Mom, please, I need to ask you something. Like, later. It has to bop these people first.
It has to be very clear for San Francisco now. You cannot just wait for the dragon to go down and then fight. You need to either fight by initiating or you need to steal. There is no in-between. In-between is a big old L that currently San Diego is serving to him hot and ready.
That's a lot of Infernal Drakes for San Diego right now. They get the objective, they win the team fight, and they are 3K ahead right now. Poised to take this game 1 in the series. It is still a series, keep in mind, so it doesn't end here, but this would feel great for San Diego to actually get the win over San Francisco. We heard the words from a hero earlier on. I mean, he was confident in their ability to shut down San Diego, but Zyrene, I think it's important you highlighted, it's from throws that they have had struggles in the past, and it feels like they did throw a little bit of that early game here.
And the reason it matters is because of the momentum for this team composition. They have a Renekton. They have a Lee Sin as their only physical damage dealers in the game. And the Galio is supposed to be supplemental. It's supposed to be a complement to these types of things where you dive in, have somebody who's really a good damage dealer at that point in the game. And the Heimerdinger has not been able to do much here at all. He's behind in terms of his scoreline. He hasn't been able to land a ton of abilities in these fights either to really make the difference. And so the team can stack magic resistance and feel really good about it because the physical damage is just not coming through.
And who's going to get onto this Ezreal? He's constantly poking them down, has cleanse and completed the QSS, can stack up that Conqueror and be completely safe in these team fights. Feels like there's too many threats on the side of San Diego for San Francisco to deal with.
Yeah, from San Francisco, you got to get really crafty with how you want to win this game. It's either got to be through some sort of steal. Like, Mihiro, on the Lee Sin, you were still probably one of, if not the best stealing champion in the game, just with your Q plus Smite combination. Probably second only to like a Nuno or maybe an Olaf with their abilities to cut through as well. Or Choga.
There we go.
He's good, is what I'm trying to say. He's really good at stealing. You are still on 3 dragons. You can push for a little bit more with the Infernal Ender because it still seems like San Diego are pretty slow to leverage their actual advantages. They're winning, but if you look at the map, it doesn't look like they're winning as hard as they actually are. So there is time to set up one of these plays, but you got to do something special. You can't just run it straight down again.
I feel like a big part of why San Diego has struggled to really run away with a lead is they're not controlling side lanes that well. They're trying to group up and fight as a 5-man group, whereas San Francisco feels like they're more comfortable putting K-Pulsar in a side lane, and they also have the teleports.
Yeah,
to
the teleports and the global as well, the semi-global from Fio. So the next Drake, last Drake, coming up, the sudden death Drake, the one where whoever gets it gets the Dragon Soul. This is the most important Drake that I think we've seen here in this studio so far.
And we've seen 3 dragon fights in a row go to University of San Diego. So we'll see if San Francisco can flip that on its head here.
I think this is the longest game I've seen on this patch.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah, this is the longest game that I've seen.
Probably.
Yeah, we are.
This is the last one, yeah.
If San Diego gets this, with the way they've been playing, I highly doubt they end the game before Elder comes up.
Yeah, I agree with that one. And if San Francisco get it, it depends on the fight aftermath right after. Because the Baron is also up, and that's the big thing here.
Yeah. What I almost want to see is I want to see Miro try to go for the steal.
And then,
dead.
Scatter the weak. Got the Zonias,
still
but
dead,
you got to imagine still going to be falling there. The pick coming in from San Diego right before the final dragon.
The dragon wasn't even up yet.
Yeah.
This is almost like a perfect case where if you're a shot caller in the San Francisco team, you just say, all right, guys, base race this. Try it, like when San Diego moves to Baron, throw someone in bot lane, try to scare them. Because they do look somewhat frightened when it comes to map movements. But oh my, I just saw the Ezreal Q land on the wave, and I'm remembering now that that is Infernal Soul.
Yes.
4 Fire Dragons.
Jabberjay with a single scatter the week almost one-shot the Heimerdinger.
I'm actually really curious if either one of our observers or someone in the director's booth can go out and tell us how much AP Syndra currently has.
I think it's over 1,000.
It's going to be a lot.
But
It's over 1,000?
if they tap down and they click her, then yes, we can definitely see it.
It seems like 754 is the number right now.
All right,
So
Mihiro's trying to go for it. Oh,
3/4.
754 right there.
Oh, look
Oh
at
my
that
God.
damage on Takaga. One Mystic
Mihiro, Mihiro
is in trouble. Capable
Oh.
is able to get onto him. Takes down the Syndra, but Mihiro can't get the Baron. Oh,
so
objective
close.
secured by San Diego. It was close. Mihiro went for the play. But hey, at least a shutdown did go over there to K-Pulsar.
Oh,
True.
hit E forward. He does a lot of damage.
Living up to the name. I love that.
So this is like 2 separate operations here. One is Operation Please Kill Jabberjays, and the other one is Operation Mihiro, please save us the game. One of them goes really well. Mihiro, it is kind of a coin flip at this point with so many bodies in. USD aren't able to keep him out, but doesn't matter at the end. If this was a steal, if Mihiro got this Baron and they kill Jabberjays, E4's probably still a threat, but it gets really close as to who wins that follow-up fight.
So close.
Yeah.
Almost the play that they needed. He stole one of those Drakes earlier on in the game, but cannot steal the Baron here. It is picked up by San Diego. They have a 6K gold lead, and they're pushing in this wave. There's no more neutral objectives to fight around, so eventually they will actually have to choose a wave to push.
If you're San Diego right now, you do not try to end the game with this Baron, I don't think, especially with the way they've been playing. You push up, get absolute control of the jungle, and for everything you're worth, take the Elder Dragon. With Elder Dragon Infernal buff, plus like Ezreal and Syndra poke, I'm pretty sure one Syndra Q will legitimately kill most of the members on that San Francisco team.
They have 4 Infernals, right?
They have 4 Infernals, the buff, Baron, and potentially soon the Elder
Saying a
Dragon.
lot of words returned. It's hard for me to process them all, but I'm trying.
You're saying a lot of words.
Oh, wow. That is... Yep, this Syndra is going to be bopping some kids like balloons right now as they decided the way they want to push in. They're not actually following up on your plan return. They're dedicating a push here. And honestly, they might even have the opportunity, but there's Jabberjays under the turret. Mihiro with the hero play. They take out the Syndra, but can they clean up the fight afterward? Here comes K-Pulsar trying to get onto the back line, but just can't do damage to E4, where the Ezreal is so hard to get on top of. It's just Spirit.
Oh, your bomb!
Life does actually get the shutdown, but a double kill, a triple kill to E4, and that might just be game.
Yeah, the consistent damage from the Ezreal comes out on top. It looked like right there, Mihiro went for broke. He did get the person he wanted, but there's a stopwatch, buys so much time, and then they're able to clean this fight up on the backside of it. San Diego getting a little bit of revenge in game 1.
Yeah, I don't...
Kaga up in 10.
They actually end it right now. Kaga's up in 10. They don't have the minions at the turret.
Oh.
Fall for free. What?
Wait.
E forward. What? Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have an Elder Dragon.
Make the final defense. Oh,
I
watch
don't want to
Mihiro.
watch this replay.
Watch
I wanna watch
Mihiro right here.
that. Yeah. Mihiro's
Beautiful.
we said it before, Mihiro is a smooth operator when it comes to Lee Sin. The problem is, it is a classic case of too little, too late. You take out the Syndra, who's dealing with the Ezreal?
Yeah, and the Syndra was able to pop that stopwatch instantaneously, so they didn't actually destroy her quick enough to then turn the fight onto other members. They had to waste a lot of cooldowns, waste a lot of time.
Yeah, and you saw Fio there. That's actually really funny. Fio missed the E because he wasn't expecting the alley-oop to be that good. And then also there at the end, I think E forward thought he had heal for a quick second there in the heat of the moment, and I think he cleansed nothing. Maybe he was cleansing off a slow or the grenade. I'm not quite sure, but it looked like he was trying to save the Trundle.
All right, I have the win condition for San Francisco. It has to be find a way somehow to steal this Elder Dragon, find the same kick onto Jabberjays, and then maybe, now with Void Staff on the Heimerdinger, you might have enough damage to start proccing out those Elder Dragon damages, but it's still so many things need to go perfectly right, and one thing going wrong, the base is already open.
And that's why the game isn't over until it's over now, because the Elder Dragon doesn't scale with how many dragons you have. Just how many dragons you have makes it more likely that you will get the Elder. Right. Is the only thing. So the Elder, no matter who gets it, is going to be incredibly effective.
Oh, that's a single true shot barrage.
Right.
But with a W on top of it. So.
Oh, was it the W?
Yeah, he had the W on him. He was
a little bit less
not
impressive.
impressed
Still
anymore.
big. But actually, this is interesting. Watch your mom lull on the top side. He's going to stay here. With Elder Dragon on the map and with nothing left in the base, they're basically saying, okay, you can either send 2 people top lane to come deal with me, otherwise I end the game. But if you bring 2 people top, Elder Dragon goes down for free from San Diego. This is great map pressure, but only if San Francisco actually bites on it. And do keep in mind, it is a little bit early so far.
I would actually. Oh, wait. Yeah, 2 people have to go deal with him. Is the idea? Question is, can the Renekton 1v1 him and stop him from even killing the Nexus?
I don't think so. I feel like this Trundle can just turn his attention onto Renekton, take the 1v1, and then take out the Nexus.
So what you have to do if you are San Francisco is push in as 4, hope that the Trundle just doesn't end the game.
Here comes Spirit.
Yeah, the Dragon has been started out. I think Mahiro has to go for a steal.
Mahiro's almost dead.
Low. He's got the GA, but look at your mom.
RPG.
LOL. Just going right
no,
for
he
the
missed half of
Nexus.
it.
They can't kill him. Can he get the final auto? No! He doesn't take it out. And that steal had come through. Mahiro would have been insane, but does go down. They trade their top laner for the Elder Drake.
That is a trade you'll take every day of the week. For San Diego.
That is heartbreaking for Mahiro. At the end, right there, he almost gets it.
That would have been a beautiful play from San Francisco, a beautiful play from their star jungler, but they weren't able to pull it off. 4 members with the Elder Drake. Are they going to take the 4v5 is my question. It looks like they actually want to go for it, but that's still a fairly tanky Renekton. And look at Jabberjays taking down immediately.
Hit the Nexus.
Trying to get onto E forward. The Nexus is still available. Yeah, it's still up right now. I think that this has got to be it. San Diego playing with their food at this point in time. They'll take the Nexus and they'll take Game 1.
Oh my God, that was so good. That was the longest game that I've seen on this patch in solo queue, in anything I've spectated, in any of these games throughout any of the things we've done in this studio. That was nuts.
That was beautiful to watch. We did actually check in on the Syndra's AP after the Elder Dragon was taken, but it's fine. It's fine. Catch after catch, team fight after team fight, after that 15-minute point, it really felt like San Diego, they got their groove and they knew exactly how they wanted to play that game.
Yeah, and I think that the Dragons going down in Dragons didn't affect them too much. Mahiro, though, keeping San Francisco in the game, he was the one who started off on the right foot for them, took a lot of resources, threw it away at one point. He got a little bit too fancy. But that he got there by being fancy. It's one of those things where, it's like, I'm going to win this game by being fancy, and I'm going to lose this game by being fancy.
Yeah.
It's totally fine to continue doing what had gotten you there in the first place. So I don't fault him for it. If it had worked, it would have been amazing. But it's one of those things where sometimes a little bit of restraint is going to be more consistent in your games.
Right. And I think one thing they were lacking was in the early game, they really got themselves ahead, but they forgot really to shut down some of those lanes as well. If Syndra had been maybe attended to once or twice in the earlier stages, really get her out of the game, then there is nobody to stage that comeback, but they left that can of worms unopened. They basically let Jabberjay have the game of his life at that point with the Syndra play, but it just wasn't enough at the end. I think game 2 is going to be real interesting with the adaptation, but if both teams come back at full strength, I think I still give the advantage over to San Fran just with their jungle play. But San Diego is going to put up a fight.
And I just want to, I have to say it, I have to call it out. Again, 100% prediction correction, and my analyst is even when it's an accident. Even when it's an accident, we still keep those wins. Make sure that you're joining in on the fun by going on to Twitter and voting on the Grubhub cast and chat on what kind of foods we get to eat after this match. It will be done after the semifinals. It might even be after one more game if San Diego can put that clinic on again. So thank you for Grubhub. Also, make sure that you go and click on the link below to get $12 off your first order of $15 or more. We'll be back with more League of Legends action coming up next as San Diego looks to take down San Francisco 2-0. San Francisco trying to mount the comeback.